All right, hello everybody. Let's go through and run some macro updates on Bitcoin and a couple altcoins. In essential, we'll work our way down from these larger time frames and keep going down until it kind of gets a little too muddy, and then we'll move on from there and go from coin to coin and see where we end up in the markets. But overall, I think generally Bitcoin is in charge, so we should allow Bitcoin to do its things, watch its price action, and kind of pay attention to that in conjunction with Bitcoin dominance so that we can get a better outlook for what our altcoins are going to do, right? So the most beautiful recipe would be that we would like to see Bitcoin's price going up while Bitcoin dominance is going down, so that the altcoins can have that amazing alt season that we're all waiting for, right? So for now, on the macro, you can see that it looks like Bitcoin is poised to possibly finish its wave 5, right? So let's turn off this EMA for a second. And when we're looking at Bitcoin, we can see a possible wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and now building or putting together a wave 5, right? So let's pull some simple extensions on this. And we're going to try to do this to target a wave 5, right? So from 0 to 3 to 4, meaning we applied this extension from the lows or inception point of the structure to the high of 3 to the low of a possible wave 4, right? When we do that, we're going to look to our corrective extensions and see a target somewhere in here around this 0.618, right? For our wave 5 of 5 possibly. There are times where you can get an extended fifth wave, right? And that can push as far as even 1.618 in crypto. So I would hate to say we're calling for an overly extended fifth wave, but something that does bias us towards that is when we're looking at this weekly chart here in log, we can notice that our possible wave 3, it doesn't hit the minimum target of 1.618, right, of trend-based fib extension. We fall just shy of that. Because it does fall shy, we have to give it kind of the benefit of the doubt that it's the 3. It didn't quite reach that little minimum target. It's not quite a rule, but maybe more of like a probability shifter. And mainly that's because we talk about wanting a lot of displacement within our wave 3, right? We can kind of see a somewhat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves within wave 3. This is a big kicker for most people counting Elliot wave, is you kind of want to start here at your wave 3 and see, can I see 5 waves within my wave 3 leading us towards believing maybe I'm right, maybe this is my wave 3. Then we get a nice little 3-wave pullback here in a macro 4, and we start to move off again, right? So since this 3 was possibly not extended, which in Elliott wave we do look for one of these 3 motive waves to the upside, either 1, 3, or 5 to be extended. Now it kind of leans probability towards we might see this 5th get extended. So let's not get our head too high in the clouds. Maybe it gets a little extra push this cycle, but I really don't want to say, anything lavish. I would try to keep it local. The other thing we could do maybe later is we'll zoom into linear and see how that looks with targets there. Because on the weekly, it seems that linear might be the go-to, right? So let's zoom in here on this wave 4, maybe on like a 3-day chart, and talk about where it ends and begins and kind of where our count's coming out of there, right? So let's go into a 3-day chart really quickly. We'll zoom in here, right? So we think that this wave 4 here had possibly ended in a triangle. And let's go to a daily so we can see it a little better. I apologize. In a possible WXY, right? And that the possible triangle occurred in a Y formation. So there was our Y. It was this wonky donkey triangle here. We'll go ahead and slap some labels on there to help our understanding. Let me turn off this magnet. It causes more harm than good sometimes. Possible A, B, C, D, and E. And then we get going into a 1 and 2 here. I think that could possibly be our macro count here of the move to the upside, right? So again, when we're talking about this, we look for 5 waves within the wave 3. We can somewhat see that, right? It looks nice and clear. We have displacement. We have impulsivity. This thing's doing well, right? So now we want to, again, look for those wave 5 targets, right? So we'll pull it from a 0 point to the high of a possible wave 3 to the low of a possible wave 4, right? And let's go ahead and look at our corrective trend-based fib extensions again, right? So this gives us a little more wiggle room, maybe to 132, but the possibility of seeing this still confluent area for wave 5 of 5, right? In that macro count. So I would say things are still looking good for Bitcoin. I would say we shouldn't be concerned that the top is in, right? And this is crashing down and everything's over. I think we should stay optimistic for the outlook here. We have pro-crypto president in the office. We have big things coming, right? He's going to be going to Davos, Switzerland. I might have mispronounced the name. I apologize. Correct me if I did. Well, he's not going there, but he's going to be available in a live stream on this Thursday. And they're going to go ahead and review all things that have to do with the World Economic Forum, from tariffs to war to hopefully digital assets, right? Hopefully they cover some of this so that we could start to get some clarity, or at least hear some news from Trump on what he thinks in the cryptocurrency realm, right? So that could be what we're looking for, okay? Let's go ahead and zoom in on XRP and take a peek at what we have going on and what we think is going on, and go from there. Let's move these counts. Apologize. I think that we're looking at XRP and still a very possible good way, right? We have this initial 1 through 5 wave movement here and a really long wave 2 that I believe ends here, right? So this is pretty much that wave 2's low or possible invalidation point, right? So then we move off from there. We're looking for 5 waves to the upside. We can somewhat kind of see how we could have that now. But this wave 4 that's coming in seems really short, right? It seems like its time is occurring really quickly compared to its same degree wave 2, if that makes sense. So since we're looking for somewhat a 1-to-1 relationship between the same degree wave 4 and 2, I would say that this may only be an internal wave 3 and 4 of the wave 3 overall, right? So there is a chance that this macro 3 is not done yet, that we're still working on that, and that we are going to increase our wave count as time goes, and we'll get another 4 here, and that 4 will possibly coincide with this much larger degree wave 2, right? Like match that same relationship in time. So overall, I would say this top area for a wave 3, whether it is the top of the wave 3 or the top of the wave 5, we are looking for some sort of reaction here. And it might be a good opportunity to de-risk or even pull back on some of the position size that we have in the game, even as spot traders, so that we can look for a bigger opportunity on the pullback, right? Because as Elliott wave progresses, it leaves behind a prior degree wave 4, right? And as this wave 4 comes down, it will oftentimes not break and lose prior degree wave 4. So this gives it an opportunity to give you a little jump off point. Look for a 3-wave pullback, another big opportunity, and step in the game again, even if you were a buyer way down here at the lows, right? So the thing that we have to consider is that the roadmap for XRP, the roadmap for Bitcoin, the roadmap for a lot of these altcoins could extend a lot further, but it's important to understand the what's just on the other side of the bridge from us, right? Let's get over there. Let's see what's going on, see the reactions, and move on from there. But let's take a peek a little bit closer in here on the time frames. We think that we may have seen a completed wave 4 and a WXY here locally. 3 waves to the downside, 3 waves to the upside, 3 waves to the downside again. After which we see a nice 5-wave move to the upside and a possible 1 into a 2. Kind kind of speculative here in these jumbled lows. I want to say it ended here, but I possibly would be okay with moving it over a little bit into another 1 and 2. Now, the thing that I'm running into is I'm really curious. Is this only 1 into 2? And we're waiting for 5 waves within circle wave 3 here. And that should come in around 360. Maybe we get a little bit more just to kind of tickle people around that $4 price everybody wants. Then we get another small pullback in a 4, right? And then another push in 5. I think maybe we see something like this coming. And all of that will be building a local or the macro larger degree, wave 3, I apologize. So if this is true, you know, we got to start paying attention to what's going on at these next areas of resistance. You know, for XRP, we're looking around 360 now. Let's adjust this to make sure. Yeah, around 3666, what a number. And we'll move on from there, right? And this would be our major large degree wave 3. So you'd be looking for the 5 waves within wave 3 to be done there. Small pullback in 4 again, and a 5th wave, right? And that would finalize these 5 waves that possibly ends our larger degree wave 3, right? So we'll be kind of paying attention here and seeing what goes on when we get to that reaction zone. But I would definitely be looking for signs of weakness, be it regular bearish divergences on your RSI or your volume dying off, things like that, okay? So HBAR is another altcoin that I would say that you should definitely keep your eyes on. It appears that it too has seen a local 5-wave move to the upside and a possible really shallow wave 2 pullback. It's hard to tell at this point, but it does reach minimum time for a correction as a wave 2. So let's ditch this so we can see better. From 0 to 5, we look for a minimum time of 382. And we can see that before we really started moving here, we were already past here. But we can see how this low, let me put a line here so we can see it better. The low was in before the 382, right? Giving us conviction, hey, this kind of correction might go on a little bit longer, right? So we see 3 to the downside, 3 to the upside, and 3 to the downside again. Possibly a WXY, right? So something to be paying attention to. Bitcoin on its macro also saw a shallow correction to start its whole thing off around a 236 also. So it is plausible to see something like this happen. We need to continue to watch this, but invalidation for that scenario comes around not 0.23106, right? I do think that your larger time frames are interesting for HBAR because it gives you the possibility that you've already left a base channel and that you're staying above it. Even if we back test it, they would still be really bullish, right? So we need to keep our eyes on HBAR. We need to keep our eyes on the fact that some of these coins could really still have a lot left in the tank. And when we're on linear, to keep things realistic because we're looking at such a large time frame, these possible wave 1, 2, this is only wave 3 that we're experiencing, right? Which may not even be done yet. And then we'll get a 4 and then a 5, right? So some of these coins still have a lot left in the tank. So thank you all for watching. I hope this was helpful. Keep checking in for updates, and I'll try to keep you posted as we go. Thank you, guys.